In this video, we're going to look at adding and subtracting decimal numbers. The easiest way to think about decimal numbers is prices. So if I said I want to buy something that costs $4 and something that costs $1, how much am I going to spend in total? $4 plus $1 is obviously $5. So that makes it really visual if we kind of think, okay, $4 plus $1. Those are my decimals, they're a little funny. Equals, oops, $5. Notice, and this is extremely important, without even thinking about it, we've lined up the decimals when we're adding. If I took those same numbers and wrote it kind of sloppy like this, okay, $4 plus $1 equals 1 0 decimal. I have some weird number here. I have only equals $4.01 is what I've got there, because I have not lined up my decimals. So this is wrong. We know $4 plus $1 should equal $5. Keep that in mind as we're going through the next adding and subtracting. On the computer, it kind of lines the decimals up for you, but if you're doing this yourself on paper, you need to remember to line up the decimals. As you can see in this example, they've already lined up the decimals for us. So really that's the hardest part of adding and subtracting decimals. You just need to be able to add and do the subtraction. So it wants us to add 9 plus 6 we have is 15. 5 down, 1 up. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Decimal. 1 plus 8 is 9. Simple as that. Now I love this example because your first instinct might be, Miss Cooper, there's no decimal on whole number 4. Any whole number has an invisible decimal directly to its right. If I asked you how many dogs do you have and you say you have 3 dogs, there is an invisible, we just write the number 3, but there's always an invisible decimal. Especially in the younger grades, because we only deal with whole numbers, we don't feel it's necessary to write this invisible decimal. But as we start thinking about decimal numbers, any whole number has that invisible decimal. If it makes you feel better, you can even throw a few zeros after it. 3.0. Whole number 3 is 3 decimal with however many zeros you want. As we talked about in decimal numbers, this part in terms of zeros doesn't make any difference. It's 3 and no tenths, no hundreds, no thousands, blah, blah. So this up here in our example is just 4. And we have the invisible decimal right there. Then all you have to do is add. 1 plus, here, why don't we throw in some zeros just to make ourselves feel good? Especially when you're subtracting, putting these zeros in here can be very helpful with decimals. Because otherwise kids are like, oh, Miss Cooper, I can't take 1 from anything, so I just put the 1 down here. No! 0 minus 1 is very different than just putting a 1 down there. But anyhow, right now we're adding, so let's go back to this. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 8 is 8. 0 plus 5 is 5. Decimal is there. Love it. 4 plus 1 is 5. And 9 plus nothing is 9. Same thing, just working through our adding since our decimals are already lined up. 4 plus 5 is 9. Decimal's there. 1 plus 3 is 4. And 1 plus nothing is 1. Answer 14 and 9/10. So this last example I've just made up here, I've included just to really drive home this point that we have 23 minus 17 and a bit. You can't just see, oh, there's nothing above it, so nothing, I'm just going to put a 6 down here. No, that is wrong. Because I hope at this point you realize that 23 whole number has our invisible zeros we can put above. And when we are doing subtraction, 0 take away 6 is not 6. In fact, we cannot take 6 away from nothing. We're going to have to go borrow next door. Please, please, please do not make that mistake. So 0 take away 6, red flag, can't do it. I am going to go next door, nothing there. Next door, nothing there. Okay, I'm gonna have to borrow from the ones. That's gonna become a 2, giving us 10 in the tenths, doesn't help us, so we'll take from there, make that 9. 10 in the hundredths, still doesn't help us. Take 1 from there, that becomes 9 hundredths, and gives us a 10 in the thousands column. Now it's an easy question. 10 minus 6 is 4. 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 minus 2 is 7. Decimal, make sure they're lined up. 2 minus 7 I can't do, go next door, that becomes a 1, that becomes a 12. 12 minus 7 is 5, and 1 minus 1 is nothing. Does it make sense that 23-ish minus 17-ish is about 5? Yes, that makes sense. Be careful with this part. Okay, good luck with this section.